Hey, Erik.
Hello, Tracy. How is life?
Not bad. I'm okay.
Super busy for the conference, I guess, or?
I still have a demo to do that I need to record, but I think everything else I've got together.
Nice.
I spent the last week redoing our website. That took a lot of my focus. You know how you get into something like that till you can't get off of it? At least that's how I am. I keep going back and tweaking little things. And
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can work for hours just getting like one sentence or one slogan just perfectly right, and you really wanted to capture everything that you have in your head, but it's really hard.
some detailed stuff.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
All good here. Just the weather is not nice again in London. It's raining, so usual stuff.
Well, we'd love to have some rain here. Send it our way.
Should we wait for some more people, or what do you think? Should we get started?
Seemed like Andreas said he would, or I'm not sure if he would join, but
Andrea Frittor is not here, right? He would join. If you meant Andrea, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve Taylor's not here either. I'm sure he will join shortly.
Let's
now
wait.
we have Andrea joining. Yes, good.
Great. Andrea.
Hello. Sorry, mate.
No problem.
Emil, I also invited Derek from the Argo events team.
Yeah, I see. I was just about to welcome him.
Hi.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Hi, Derek. Nice
Here.
to meet you. Nice to see you. So you're from Argo Events, are you?
Yeah. I'm from Argo Event.
Great. Welcome to our group.
Thank
you. Let's hope we can have some work in common for the future. Okay, should we get started then maybe? Do you all have the meeting notes in front of you, or should I share my screen?
Could you share, just put the notes in the chat?
Yeah, I think I did, but maybe you came in late. No, I think you were here.
No, I was here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There it is.
I did it again. I pasted it again for latecomers. No problem. So please add your names and origination or whatever. There. And we'll get started. So the agenda for today, we will first look at the action items from last week. We will see about any updates from on the SIG large, and where there we will discuss how we will do with the SIG during the summer period, where some of us will be off for vacations. We will get some the work stream updates, I guess, on the protocol name, if we have anything to bring up there. And then, of course, also for the POC, the proof of concept status. I actually put that late in the presentation section of the meeting. So we can take that there maybe. Before that, we will look into conferences. And as you know, I guess all of you, we have CDCon this week. And we will now, I've listed the ones that I know of, the presentations that relate to events. And if I missed some, I could very much have done that. We should add them here as well, so everyone is aware of what presentations to prioritize during CDCon and support or whatever. Yeah, that's that. I see there is one more added. That's perfect from Trace. Great.
I added one.
Yeah, that's great. And then any other business about blog posts and such. And maybe we can then see, Derek, if you have some presentation you can share with us, maybe not today, but later on. We can discuss that later. So let's first look into any action items from last meeting. Erik, you were supposed to create a pull request on what is the change.
Yeah, that has not been done. I've been focusing on the POC and the BOF preparations.
Fine. I think that's a good priority, so that's good. And Andrea, what about you? Did you write the pull request on lightweight versus heavyweight?
No, I haven't. Same. I've been focusing on the POC.
Yeah.
So.
We'll keep it for next time. That's fine. So let's look into then the SIG meetings during the summer period. And I guess I can first say that I will actually be away. I planned to be away 5 weeks this summer from my normal work. And with that, I also plan to be away from the SIG actually during that time, which actually starts already Monday in 2 weeks when the next SIG meeting is. So that's my plan right now. What about the rest of you? Will you have long vacations or be off, many of you, during the same time, or should we just continue with the meetings as they are? Andrea first.
I will be around.
You'll be around, Salaboy? Yeah, Mauricio, good.
I will be here. I'm going to take some time off, but not quite that much.
Good.
Be away from the end of July to the end of August, if things work. Yeah, depends a bit on travel restrictions, but so yeah.
Maybe we just do one meeting in July and one meeting in August instead of doing it every 2 weeks. That way we just keep the momentum, but we're not going to get a lot accomplished since there'll be some of us out.
I think I see two different paths, sort of. Like, one is when we have these meetings for like ensuring that we take decisions and those kind of things. And there, of course, it won't be that easy to do much if key people are away anyway. But the other is to get an opportunity to have some focused discussions and try to push some things further along the road, so to say. And those meetings might be valuable to have even if we are not that many. My feeling, at least in this work group, is that there is a lot of stuff that happens on the meeting that wouldn't happen otherwise. So for that reason, it might be nice to at least keep some meetings scheduled. Maybe that's more for like the vocabulary work group. Maybe that is more important, and that tries to make some progress during the summer. I don't know, but yeah.
I agree very much, Erik, there that I mean, work meetings should be held continuously whenever there are enough people working on items in those groups. So yeah, if possible, the vocabulary work stream should continue, I would say.
Yeah.
But maybe taking formal decisions when a lot of people are away is not very good, maybe, because then we might need to visit them afterwards again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and I also agree with you, Tracy, there, that we should maybe have fewer meetings, but at least meet sometime, those of us who are here during the summer period. we have any proposals on when the SIG should meet during the summer then? If you say we should have one occasion in July and one in August.
So you're not going to be here next in 2 weeks, right? So why don't we do the we just make it for the, I guess, 4 weeks from today, and then another one 4 weeks from then.
Sure.
Just skip the one in 2 weeks and do the one in 4 weeks.
Mm.
So I guess we would cancel the first meeting of the month and keep the second meeting of the month for July and August.
Is that what we're saying then? July 19th and August 23rd?
I'm guessing August 16, unless my calendar is messed up. At least there is a regular SIG event there that we can sort of steal the time slot
We have
for.
one there as well, yeah. Andrea will still be away even on 23rd, so there'll be no difference from that perspective. I will be here on the 16th. Then I will miss the first one and Andrea will miss the last one, I guess. At least there will be one share in each of those meetings. That's good. And that's perfectly fine, I think.
Yeah.
So are we in accordance there? Take this.
Yep.
Yep.
July 19th and August 16th.
Sounds good.
Great. I can update the calendar invite so that it's visible there. I guess it's just canceling the other two meetings or making sure we have them in the right place. Great. Are we done with the SIG meetings during the summer then?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go on to workstream updates, and I actually put the event protocol name under workstream updates. I'm not sure if it's there, it should be, but anyway. Andrea, do you have any more results from the poll, or how are things progressing? Is it any progress?
No, I don't. Well, I've not checked if we had more responses. Let me check. No, it's the same answers as we had last time. Yeah, I think we could spend some more time discussing about the name, or maybe if anyone has some new idea that they want to offer, we could discuss it.
I guess it's the short-term solution. We said we should go with CD Events now for the POC, I guess, and until we have a better name in place.
I think that
yes,
works.
indeed. That's what. Yeah. Sorry, Tracy. That's what we've been kind of using, I guess, in the POC for now. But yeah, based on the discussion last time, we should try and come up with a better name.
Andrea, could you please again share the link to the poll?
Yeah, absolutely. In the chat, I'll put it again in the notes as well.
So if you haven't responded to the poll, or if you want to add an additional response, I guess that's possible as well. What do you think? Should we have more discussion now during the meeting here? Or should we have some other way forward to find new or find a good name for the protocol? Any ideas?
Do we see any like deadline or desire to have a name for any particular, like a deadline for a name, basically? The way I see it, until we sort of have the first version of the spec, a name is not super important. So it could probably be fine to like think about it and have some sort of low speedy discussions during the summer, and then pick it back up again after the summer. Like, it would be interesting to hear. We brought some stuff last week, like what are people's ideas on the name itself? Should it be unique? Should it be related to CDF? Should it be related to CD? Like, what do we see as a criteria for a good name? For instance, I would say it should be pronounceable, would be one thing that I would push for, but those kind of things maybe we could think about during the summer. That's my proposal.
I would second that.
Yeah, good. I agree. Would it be valuable to have a GitHub discussion on this topic, you think?
Yes, I can go ahead and start that.
Here.
Yeah.
And we can maybe add the comments we had from last SIG meeting 2 weeks ago in this moment into that discussion then, as a starting point.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks, Erik.
And I think if we throw out a date, like let's say October 1st or something like that, that'll give us a couple meetings, and then we have, you know, September would be like a full month where we're not taking the break. And that's just that idea to throw out there. Maybe put a date for October 1st as something to shoot for.
I agree. It shouldn't be too far away in the future. We should try to set a name quite soon. And I guess as soon as we have the first version of the protocol, not being a draft, but the first version, then of course it should be there, and we shouldn't wait. I hope we will get that not too late during the autumn, at least, but we'll see if we manage. Let's aim for October 1st. That's a good suggestion. Good. So any more comments now on the meeting about this? Did anyone think anything from last meeting about the name itself? More than what Erik said. No?
It's good to have deadlines. Definitely good to have deadlines. So
Yeah, I agree. Let's go on then. And let's look at CDCon. So as I said, yeah, okay, Matthias.
Sorry for interrupting. Mauricio, you're dropping at half.
yes, unfortunately, I need to drop in 12 minutes. So it might be good to do like the POC discussion first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's switch orders there. Yeah, of course. Let's bring in the POC here instead then.
Perfect.
Andrea, you can invite Andrea, and then Mauricio, you can start talking.
Yeah. So I think that it's like a split between like Andrea on the Tecton side, and I've been doing the Captain with Jürgen and the people from the Captain project. So this week I managed to get kind of like this Captain translator, or at least the bare bones. It's a pretty hacky couple of projects, but I think that they at least show that it can be done and that we can fine tune it for a particular kind of like use case, the one that we have been discussing. And Andrea, I was looking at your pull request, and definitely we need to catch up and sync on the events that we need to send. But as soon as we define the events, I think that it's pretty much to just put all the resources in a Git repo and then just get an environment up and running and see if we can make it work. I don't know, in your side, like what's missing and what other definitions besides the particular events do we need to make?
Right, on Tecton side, I got the controller, the experimental controller for Tecton, up and running with VPAV, and is now sending its first CDF or CD events based on some annotation. So I, like in the PR I sent to our repo, if you put some annotations on the pipeline, it will send events. So right now I'm able to send like the core events, the pipeline events, as well as the artifact event. But given that the structure is in place, it should be pretty straightforward to add any other kind of event that we want. The part that I need to do is once I know which event I will be receiving from Captain, I can set up the kind of listener and trigger on Tecton side to parse that event and do the deployment. And because I think that's the main tricky bit, because we need there is some session or context information that needs to be kept and reported back in the event for Captain to close the loop, like we discussed last time.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's correct. I think that basically what we should do is, if you can configure Tecton to receive a new artifact published event, I will send in the body the context that you need to keep in Tecton to then send another event when that pipeline, the deployment pipeline, finished. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes. So I was thinking Tecton would send that event already. So would Captain send it again then? The same event? Or
No. So that's what we need to figure it out, I think. I mean, if Tecton is already going to send that event already, so it's going to send the published event.
Yeah, that was my plan, but we can change it. So I mean, it depends what we want to do in the first pipeline. So if Tecton is building the container image, I thought it would make sense to send the artifact published event, but we could send an artifact packaged event if you want.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that we do like packaged event at the first one, and then Captain reply with the published one, and then you do the deployment.
Okay.
Let's just for the sake of the demonstration, right? Like just for the sake of having something end-to-end working, and then we sit down and have kind of like a very in-depth discussion about which events kind of represent the things that we're trying to do there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, but I would need to, because in the protocol itself, we don't specify the format for the data that Captain needs to send, the extra context. So if you can just send me a sample JSON of what the data look like. Actually, it's a map of string, right, in the protocol.
Yes.
So if you could send me a sample map where what the fields will be called, and then I can.
Yeah, I will probably call it in the same way that it's called in Captain. I think it's called Captain context. I will just check how is that spelled, and I will definitely send that to you. But I will just pretty much keep it in the same way that Captain is returning it to me now.
Okay, but it would be translated into a CDF event, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be the data part. It's going to be inside the data of that event.
Okay, so I can start setting it up. Okay, nice.
Good stuff.
Then there is actually, but Mauricio already knows that there is one more property in Captain. It's the triggered ID. So this is also something that does not have to get lost on the way. Yeah, and Mauricio, so I will be on vacation for the next 2 weeks, but Johannes is still there. So I think he can help you really quick when you have any questions. Just use the Slack, and he can also help.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah, you're welcome.
Great to hear, guys. That's perfect. So what are your plans now? Are you planning to show something on the BOF session on Wednesday, or is it too early, or do you have any such plans to record maybe a session where it can be shared later on? Or
I think what we can do is we can describe what we are doing. I don't think that we are ready to show just yet, mostly because it's pretty much on the works, and nobody has it like all running just yet, right? It's like as today, right? And my worry is that tomorrow I will be pretty busy doing some other stuff, and I'm not entirely sure that I will be able to dedicate much time on it. I would definitely love to show something running, but I am just worried that we're not going to make it for Wednesday.
I think it might be fine in the buff that that we can present like the idea behind it, and if we can show like some screenshot of some code somewhere, that would give it a bit more weight. But that might be good.
Yeah, and what about the document you prepared, Erik, there as well? You started setting some README files, right?
I got some support with the diagram as well, but there is like a README in the POC folder with some description of it and a diagram. So we could, for instance, look at that diagram a bit and then point people to the description if they want more information, just to like share some stuff. And I guess in the buff, we should also talk a little bit about the specification itself, or the vocabulary, which is mostly what we have in place right now. So
yeah. That directory, that POC directory that we have in the repo, and I feel that there are a couple of pull requests there now with what Andrea is working on, what I'm working on. So I think that we will have enough content to have like a pretty in-detail description about what we are trying to achieve and how to invite other projects to join as well, basically, just extending that scenario.
I think Andrea merged most of the pull requests earlier. So there's actually quite a lot of content in that folder now as well.
Yes, that's only my PR open right now.
Great. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, perfect. So let's hope for some good comments then on the buff session as well, on the POC. It'd be great to hear what people have to say about it. And I guess we will be overwhelmed with a lot of new use cases that we should also POC there.
Yes,
that's correct. Yeah,
we will have a long list of things we need to prioritize, I hope. or not, we'll see. Yeah. Okay, anything else about the POC you would like to discuss? 2 minutes at least before Mauricio leaves.
I think, Mauricio, there is a README file. I think it's in one of your repositories, I believe, with some like instructions how to get something Captain related up and running. I'm thinking nothing that I can commit to, but it would be interesting for me. Can I just follow some instructions there and actually get a little bit of Captain up and running, or what's the status of that README file? That's nice.
No. Yeah. So if you follow those steps, I think that if you give it a try and if you get stuck, just ping me. We will just fix the instructions, but those should be the instructions to run it, not much more.
Nice. Then I can give it a try tomorrow.
Great.
The last thing, maybe on Tecton side, I was planning to build these CNCF potato app and deploy that, because I think I've seen a mention of it in the material that you've been preparing, Mauricio. Is that okay, or did you have a different plan?
No, I think that's all right. As soon as you know how kind of like the application works, I think that's fine. That was kind of like the example that it's basically in the Captain Quick Start. So we know that at least in Captain it will work. And yeah, we can definitely use that one.
Right. The limitation of that, of course, is that we don't own the repo, but if we want to expand the POC at some point, we could use a fork of that, or we could use a different application. If you want to add like running the POC and as a reaction to a PR or things like that.
Yeah, that's correct. Team, thank you very much for pushing the discussion forward. I need to drop off now. Sorry.
Thank you. See you in the conference, Mauricio.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So should we go on to CDCon then?
Yep.
Yeah. So as you see, and as I said, I've added some of the talks, at least that I understand, has something to do with events. There might be more, and You added one, Jürgen, for the captain, another one from Dynatrace. Is there any other sessions we should add here? And of course, all of you on the call, we should go to these sessions and understand the use cases and get involved, of course, with the presenters and the discussions there. It's obvious that we should be on the BOF session, but on the other ones,
Yeah, we
at least I
probably
will try
should.
to be on the others.
We should probably try to be there so we can at least have do questions and help stimulate conversation.
Yeah. Does anyone know, by the way, tomorrow there is the GitOps pre-conference. Is there anything in that conference that is about events? Does anyone know?
I just looked at the calendar. There was nothing about events in that. So the answer would be no. Here's the they finally just published the calendar. Here it is.
Right. Yeah, good. So that's for the GitOps. Good. Okay, so about the BOF session then, we have this Google Docs document, right, Tracy, that you started on, and I saw that Erik, you added some, or you updated at least some information on your behalf there.
Yeah, I need to do some thinking to figure out how to bring in sailing to the discussion, so I had to prepare a bit.
That's nice. Yeah, I'll see if I can do a similar thing, preparing what I intended to talk about. Let's see. Tracy, do you have any questions on this, or do you think it's crystal clear how to drive this session?
I think it's fine the way it is. I think we should try to keep it as open as possible because we have no idea what kinds of questions people might have. But I think what we have up here is good for getting started.
Hmm. I'm not sure about the timing here, but I guess some of the presentations have been held before the BOF session and some might be afterwards. So I think my presentation is just before this BOF actually. So there could be continued discussions after that, maybe if needed.
Yeah, they try to rework things a little bit, but I think they realized too late that they scheduled a bunch of stuff on top of each other.
Yeah, I think next year I'm going to push them not to put all the BOFs at the same time. It doesn't make sense. It might have made sense to them, but it doesn't make sense for an attendee.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for the BOF, do we want to have, I don't know, just a small introduction or icebreaker in the beginning? I guess depending on the size of the group, going around the table or someone saying hello, welcome to the BOF, and maybe we just introduce ourselves at least. Or what do you think?
Yeah, that was originally how we had scheduled the panel discussion. So I think we should just use it. We'll do the same thing. I can sort of get everybody going and we'll have everybody introduce ourselves and then I'll start asking some of these questions and we'll see where it goes from there. And I don't think we have to stick to these questions. I think that we'll just get it primed.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, I think it's great to have a set of questions that we can fall back to if we don't get so much audience participation. But
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take on the responsibility to make sure that this discussion is moving forward. And I might even ask questions that we don't have listed here. That just makes sense. That sometimes happens when I'm like do a podcast or something and the conversation gets going.
Absolutely.
That's fine. Sure. So we have half an hour, I guess, in total. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not too long.
It's not too long.
Yeah. And now, Derek, since are you still with us? You're here, right? Derek Wang from Argo.
Yeah, I'm
Have
still
you
here.
planned to visit the CDCon conference? Any of you or are you aware of it at least?
Yeah, I know. I checked the schedule after you guys gave me the information.
Yeah.
I'll probably attend some of them.
I must admit I'm not exactly sure about the Argo events use cases or the whatever area you're mostly focused on, but I guess we could discuss that a bit now later on the presentation section if you like. Otherwise, so you can see for yourself, I guess, what topics would be interesting for you to attend. But please be involved as much as you can and want to. It would be great to have your feedback as well on your discussion in these topics.
Sure.
Great. Okay. Any other comments on the CDCon conference or maybe other conferences coming up? We haven't.
The only thing, I want to make sure everybody got their invite, who is supposed to be as a panel, that everybody got their invite. You should have gotten an invite to the green room 30 minutes before the session.
I'm not sure I have, actually. Let's see. No. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, I got an invite.
Got it. Good, good.
Late for an hour, so I guess it's first half an hour setting up and then.
Yeah, I just think that they're asking everybody to go to the green room to make sure you're, especially if it's a live session, that you're there.
And I will actually be presenting just before, so I won't be able to join the BOF session until it actually starts, I'm afraid.
Well, we'll make sure that everybody, if they ask where you are, we'll let them know that you're doing another one. So.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Because I think they are actually right after each other without even a minute in between. Unfortunately. Yeah. But it could be so that my session ends early.
And then in the invite to the green room, it says that, to access the event to access the event for all other sessions. I'm not sure if this, it's weird because I say it's to join the green room. I'm assuming that allows you to get into I don't know how they're doing this. Well, anyways, I'm assuming we click on this event and that's because I think it's done via a Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think they use Hopin.
Yes, and then Hopin has a link to Zoom, and I thought that we would get a Zoom invite.
When I did the speaker training, we did it directly on the Hopin platform. I don't think there was any Zoom involved.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I probably should have done speaker training. I would have known that.
You're already experienced, Erik. That's perfect. I should have done, but I haven't.
No, it was very straightforward. We had to mess around with a bit to get Hopin to publish links you could actually access, but once we sorted that out, the platform itself is very straightforward. I tested out the screen sharing as well, and it worked flawlessly, so we should be fine.
Great, great. I'm not sure if I can be part of two sessions at the same time. I mean, join the green room for the BOF session before my original one has ended, but
You
we'll see
probably
about that.
can.
No.
But I think that's the link that we're supposed to use, though, the green room link.
Yeah. I will get there when I get there.
Yes. We will know that you are on another meeting, so that's good to know. We won't be like, where is he?
That's fine. Great. Okay. Anything else? We said, I guess, last time as well that Andrea, you and Mauricio sent in a request for DevOps, was it?
DevOps board, yes, that's been accepted. So that's going to happen towards the end of September.
Nice.
And yeah, we have to do the recording and slides until sometime in July, I think. 20th of July or something, we have a recording session. So we still have about a month to go. And the plan is to move as forward as possible with the POC in this month and make some nice slides so that we can record a nice presentation for that conference.
That's great.
Perfect.
Glad to hear it.
So what was the title of that presentation now again? If you know it. Well, did you submit also for the KubeCon, or was it just for DevOps World? Or?
It's the same one we submit to the two conferences, but we haven't heard about KubeCon yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we had it in the last meeting's protocol, using cloud events to create an interoperable CI/CD ecosystem. Great.
Yeah, that's the one.
That would be interesting. So did you add something to this that it's accepted? If you can please add it to the minutes, if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Anything else about upcoming conferences then? No? Okay. Next topic is blog posts and links. And here Andrea added the links to the YouTube channel. So now finally we have got some recordings up on the YouTube channel. And Andrea, I believe that you actually uploaded most of these, right?
Yeah, so I'm slowly going through the uploads. Sorry, it takes some time. It's a manual process, and yeah, there is I don't know. There is an app that does it for you. That is actually already installed in the org, but it's kind of the trial expired. So the only way to do it is manually, unless we code something to do it, which I was planning to, but yeah, eventually I don't have time right now. But if someone wants to play with a YouTube API and Zoom API and secrets and tokens and yeah. Yeah, actually there is one dependency that's why I couldn't start. I remember now the Zoom account that I've been given does not have the developer role. So I asked the CDF whether it's possible to have the developer role there, but they need to ask the CNCF or the Linux Foundation. No, the Linux Foundation probably, sorry. So, yeah.
Okay.
So for now it's manual.
So I think I got the access as well. I saw some mail about that, but I haven't tried it out. So I guess I could help out there, Andrea, as well to share the load of uploading things. What about history or historical recordings? How far away in history could we? Are they still kept? I think we discussed that.
Yeah.
Do we keep them from like October last year or something?
They're still there. I cannot check the exact date right now because I'm logged in, but they are marked as do not delete.
Okay.
So I think once I've gone through the backlog, I think staying up to date with the new one should be fine. Because it's just basically once a week. And yeah, that's fine. It doesn't take too much time. So it's just the initial backlog that will take a little bit. I went back a little bit, but I need to do more.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people will actually watch the old meeting recordings, but anyway, since they are recorded, it would of course be good to get them out there sooner or later. But I fully agree that the POC is more prioritized, at least now.
Do you know, you're posting them, where are you posting them to?
The recordings?
Uh-huh.
To the CD Foundation account. There is a CDF SIG Events playlist. I put the link to the playlist in the notes.
And yeah, and do you have access to share just to post them up there, I guess?
Yes, I got
Okay.
access to the Zoom account, and I've got access to the YouTube account.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just, if you don't use the API, you have to manually download the video from Zoom and then upload it into YouTube, and then set some metadata like the title and the language and the subtitles, and yeah, just
Yep. Good. Anything else to share regarding blog posts or links from anyone? No? Okay, let's go on then. So under presentations, we added Argo Events presentation in August, ? Now it might be in September if everyone should be back from vacations and such. But Derek, I don't know if, since we have 15 minutes here, would you like just to say some short words on what Argo Events is and what scenarios it covers and so on? Will that be okay for you?
Yeah. Argo Events is a event-driven project. It's a framework that helps you to do some automation on the downstream works like workflow, those kind of stuff. The upstream will be like events such as we actually have more than 20 type of event sources you can use. For example, you can use GitHub, you can use AWS resources like SQS, SNS, those kind of event source. You can use those kind of events to trigger the downstream things like Argo workflow or Lambda or just a regular HTTP endpoint, those kind of thing. So it's kind of framework sitting between the event source and downstream workflows. Yeah.
So in that regard, is it similar to how Tecton does it then? Because I guess Tecton also can trigger on events, right, Andrea? I'm not fully up to date with that either, but is that the similar use case then, or?
I
I don't know if you, Derek, know, or if Andrea can respond.
Yeah, I actually not very familiar with Tecton, so I can.
Okay.
Yeah, so for Tecton, we can react to generic events. Something we don't have yet, we don't have a library of like integrations like Argo Events would. So there is some syntax that you can use to filter event and extract information from events on Tecton side. There is basically some Kubernetes resources you can create to configure that. And what you can do, you can basically run Tecton resources as a reaction to these events. So an event for Tecton is an HTTP post with a JSON body. And it can be anything in there.
So
and
the
then,
event,
yeah.
So event source for Tecton is like you do some post request to Tecton, and then you do some downstream work.
Yes, you need to post to Tecton, so you can create a sync on Tecton side, and then you can. I don't know if you're using GitHub, for instance, you can use the URL of the sync and put it in the webhook configuration on GitHub side or GitLab or whatever system you're using. You will receive then the event, and then you can extract information from that event. For instance, again, in the GitHub example, you can extract your pull request number or reference number, ref number, to download the code and build it and do whatever you need to do with it.
Oh, I see. This kind of event in Argo Events like just a webhook type of event source, and Argo Events do Argo Events actually is not. You can put some event to that event source, but let's say you have a SQS event source, and then Argo Events can set up a thing to automatically to pull event from the event source, like
Okay.
yeah. So we have the adapter for those different kind of event sources.
Right. Okay.
So I want to know, what do you expect for the presentation about Argo events? It's like brief introduction, or with some POC, or
I guess more or less whatever that could describe the use case more in detail, and so we can understand if we see a future for aligning the event usage here in some way. If you're interested, of course, in aligning to whatever we talk about here. I'm not sure how much you're aware of our work with the vocabulary or the protocol that we are setting up and so on.
yeah,
I guess you will.
I need to do some work to catch up.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So I guess maybe the POC could reveal some of the ideas on this event protocol that we try to accomplish here.
And my understanding about CD related stuff. So I actually thought a little bit about what we can do for the CD related stuff. So for Argo events, there are some event sources like GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. This kind of event source, we can do some. The event source can accept that the events from those kind of event sources and do some downstream works. Maybe those kind of event sources are something useful for the CD related event.
But you never send events yourself then, do you? You just trigger on events, or?
We accept the events triggered from those event sources, and then
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you never send events yourself.
The most use case for Argo events is like you accept those events, events from those event sources, and then do some you trigger some Argo workflow to do extra things. But Argo workflow is not the only supported downstream actions, but there's some other stuff in support.
All right. To me, maybe I'm naive, but it sounds quite similar to what Tekton does. I mean, Tekton is also a workflow engine, and it can trigger on events. Even though we now send events as well, Andrea, from Tekton to trigger or to communicate with Captain, but in the core, it's quite similar.
Even for Argo workflow itself, also is supposed to receive some kind of webhook related events, but for complex events like SQS or GitLab, GitHub, those kind of event sources, we have Argo events as a dedicated support for it.
I guess those use cases could be interesting to look into a bit more if you would like to present them later on here.
Mm-hmm.
To maybe if you have some POC or some. What is the status of Argo events, by the way? Is there a supported release out there, or is it work in progress, or?
The latest release for Argo events 1.3 is kind of it's not something still under development, but it's kind of stable.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, so if you don't mind, it would be good to get some more visible presentation, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
If that would be okay for you.
Yeah. But I wanna finalize the time.
Yeah. So if we should reconvene, let's see, what did we say now?
On the August, I was here. So I know that in July you have one meeting, and then August you also only have one. But the one in August, I will not be available. But I will be on vacation at that time.
Okay. Will you be off also the 30th of August?
3rd is the August. Do you have a meeting on that day, or?
30th of August, we have a meeting as well, yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
The 16th of August and then 30th of August.
Yeah, the 30th sounds good to me.
Yeah. So should we put that as a plan to see if that could be okay?
And by the way, usually, how long you expect for the presentations? Like 10 minutes?
I don't know. 10, 15 minutes, whatever you feel. I mean, not more than half an hour at least. I mean, we will for sure have other things to talk about, but you could, of course, get 15 minutes and 20 minutes if you like.
Okay.
I would say.
Who will be my offline contact for the presentation?
Sorry, you may contact, I think, Emil or me. You can contact us on Slack if that works for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
I think you have my mail address as well, Derek, right? We sent the mail from last week.
Yeah.
If you like, and Andrea is there as well. Yeah.
Sure.
So whatever channel you like, reach out to us. But we aim for August 30th then.
Okay.
Perfect. Great. Looking forward to that. Then I see that Erik added a discussion point with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, it's really not something that needs to be solved today, but I can just plant a seed in your heads. Inspired by Captain Experimental, I think. I just wanted to bring up the discussion. Should we have experimental buckets? Because I don't think we have, or we haven't tried, I guess, but we don't have currently a good sort of reasonably quick solution for getting stuff into the standard. We haven't really started writing the standard either, I guess, but it could be interesting to allow experimental events in experimental buckets that people can implement and start to play with, but with very clear knowledge that it's likely that this, or maybe not likely, but this can change, and we don't take any responsibility for changes in this because it's just experimental. So yeah, if anyone is interested in participating in that discussion, it's open in GitHub. You can go in there and post your thoughts. But it could be some like a staging ground for stuff that we want to get into the specification.
Sounds like a good idea, I think.
Yeah, feel free to jump into the discussion, anyone who's interested.
Yeah, sure. When time allows, I will. Any other business? Last 2 minutes of this meeting. Anything you want to add, Andrea?
No, nothing in particular. I think Erik has a good point. We'll need some story about how to introduce new features in our protocol over time and experimenting. So I'll join the discussion there too.
Yep. Perfect. So if no other final words, then I guess I'll give mine, and thank you for this meeting today. Thanks for your involvement, and see you on CDCon.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
See you. Bye.